This is the Detroit Lions Cure Auto Insurance post-game show. Detroit Lions looking for their 8th consecutive division win today. They won't get it. The final from Ford Field on Thanksgiving Day, 29-22. Lions going down to the Packers to improve to 9-2 on the season. They'll fall to 8-3. Remarkably, still 2 games ahead in the NFC North. Alongside Lomas Brown, I'm Dannie Rogers. It was about to be back-to-back weeks of comeback wins for the Detroit Lions. Today, that would not happen. Packers quarterback Jordan Love playing out of his mind. Back-to-back weeks with young quarterbacks coming in here to Ford Field and balling out. Lomas, what is your first takeaway from this loss?
Well, Danny, just disappointment. It really is, because I thought we'd have had a better showing today. Remember, Thanksgiving is such a tradition here. National game. We're the first team to play on Thanksgiving. So I expected the guys to come out and play with a lot more energy, but they just didn't. The crowd tried to get them into it. We just didn't get into the game early, and we were never able to get any rhythm, Danny, and it really, really hurt us today.
Yeah, let's take a look at the final stats here and see what really beat these Lions. I have a feeling it will be the turnovers.
Yes.
3 forced fumbles. Jared Goff losing 3 of them, all of them here today. Looking at the rushing yards, Detroit able to get over 100 here today. That's great. They exceed the Packers in passing yards. With those 3 turnovers, they just jump out at you on the screen. Taking a look at Love's stats, 22 of 32, 268 yards, 3 touchdowns. You cannot play much better than that as a young quarterback. And on the flip side, Goff going 29 of 44, 332 passing yards and 2 TDs. Sam Laporta, a really standout receiver here today for the Detroit Lions. I want to touch on that defense, though, first. Packers set the tone on offense early, a 53-yard dagger downfield to Christian Watson.
Yeah.
Packers were averaging about 10 yards a play in that first quarter. This pass defense, what do you need to see improve with it?
Danny, we always say that the front line and the secondary, they're tied, they're hip to hip, meaning you get a good pass rush, it helps those guys in the secondary. We've been getting pressure on quarterbacks, but impact plays are sacks. You have to be able to get the quarterback down. As you've seen, Jordan Love was able to manipulate the pocket, get himself out of trouble, look downfield, and get the ball downfield. That happens way too much to us. So whatever we have to do, whether we have to manufacture pressure like Aaron Glenn did a lot in the second half, but we've got to be able to get these quarterbacks down on the ground, because, as I said, a sack is an impact play, not pressures, not hits.
I have a feeling Coach Campbell will agree with you. Campbell's standing by the podium now. Let's hear from the head coach.
Give those guys credit over there. Coach LaFleur had them ready to go. They played a real good game. I thought Love came out and played really well. Receivers made plays. And look, they were ready, man. They played really well, and we did not. We didn't play good enough, and we did not complement each other. Turned the ball over too much, and we weren't able to overcome those issues. Questions?
I know it's not entirely his fault, but Jerry has 6 turnovers the last 2 games. How do you pinpoint why those issues are so big?
Well, I think some of these you feel like we're a little bit behind, and maybe that's the cause of some of it. But, we just there's a little uneasiness. We just got to get back to what we do, playing a little more rhythm. And, this isn't something where I want to get into panic mode. I've got some time here to just look at a couple of things. And see where we can get a little more efficient. But at the same time, this is the same team that's been here all year. Offense, defense, Goff's the same quarterback. We clean a couple of things up, and I think we'll get back in a rhythm and be just fine.
12 hits on Goff. On the other side, you guys feel to generate a lot of pressure on Love. Is the disappointing part, it seems like maybe they won the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. I know you guys pride yourselves on that part.
Yeah, listen, I think that's fair. They won. They did. They came out and played well. I thought they protected him really well up there. Did a lot of block him up protections, particularly early, take a shot. We just couldn't quite get there. And then even in tight coverage, I thought Love made some really good throws, and those receivers made some really good catches. So So they did. They functioned at a high level. I thought their defense played really well. We know Gary's an issue over there, and Clark and those guys. But look, they showed up, and they played really well. And that's this league, I mean, they're very much in the hunt for the division, no different than anybody else. And they're not just going to, quit fighting. So, they put it up, and I didn't have my guys ready to go. That's the bottom line. Yeah, look, I think our O-line's playing pretty good, with the exception of a couple of things that happened. You don't particularly want to go in the game and feel like you're in all pass mode. You become very predictable. That's hard on any O-line, and that's where a lot of the issues came up. But, we made a couple moves today as the game went on. We'll see where Jonah's at. But I think the rest of those guys are playing pretty good. And when we're not all in sync or we're not on the same page and we have a conversion or we don't have a conversion, we're not on the same page, then Goff has to hold it a little bit longer, then it just everything goes hand in hand. Or if our details aren't good enough on the perimeter, it just everybody's got a hand in it. It's all of us. So, we just didn't do well enough, We didn't do well enough. And that's really ultimately on me because those guys were ready to go. That team was ready to go. They played well.
Coming out of the bye, it seems like there's a problem with the merit rushing coverage, particularly early in this one. What do you attribute maybe some of those issues to?
Same guys we've had here, and we've been able to generate pressure. And so this unit's going to be just fine. They're going to get going. And, we pressured a little bit more today, played a little tight, but these are our guys, man, and these guys can do it, and they've done it. That same team we just faced there, we went out to Green Bay and we were able to create pressure. We weren't able to do it today. So when we come back, everybody's going to be challenged, as well as myself. I already feel challenged, and this is how we should want it. You should want to know that everybody's going to give you your best shot, and they're coming in. You better be ready to go. You got to play clean football. We just have to. And everything's got to start with the turnovers. We can't turn the ball over. We got to find a way to get takeaways. Let's start there, and then we'll figure the rest out.
Can you just take us through the big punt?
Yeah, look, that's a bad call on me. It's a bad call. I shouldn't have done that to those guys. It's a bad call.
Was it a little bit you saw? I mean, did they just make a good play?
It's a bad call on me. It is. Shouldn't have done that.
You said you didn't have them ready or they weren't ready. And self-evaluation, any theories on why?
No, I think, some of it you can always question, like, did we have too much in across the board? Did we try to put too much in for a short week where you can't go full speed? That's one thing I just think about in general. And I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but it's one of those things that I think of a little bit, and I've got a hand in that. I've got a huge hand in that. There's only so much you can do. I really honestly felt pretty good going into this game. I thought we would play well, and we just didn't. We did not. But there again, the easy thing is to get in panic mode, and I know what it looks like, and it wasn't good enough out there. But I'm not panicked. We got the right guys here. We know how to play. We got to clean some things up, and we'll have 6 to go when we get back. And the fight's on, man. I mean, I think this is going to be some cruise control. We're going to have to fight and scratch and fight and claw for everything, man. We have to. That's the type of team we are. That's where we're at.
And I'm curious about
just the shootout in LA, the last second victory.
Mm-hmm.
Last week in this game. How confidence do you have that when the offense doesn't have its best game where it throws turnovers that you can rely on the defense to step up and kind of make up for those?
Yeah, I do. I have confidence. Here's what we got to do. We have to get takeaways. We have to. That's something that we desperately got to work on. It's one of the things we did a really good job of this time last year. Once we hit that last, call it 8 to 10 games, we were getting takeaways. We were playing tough, man. We were pressuring the quarterback, affecting him, but then, man, we were getting these. You're getting 2 a game. And that's where we're not getting those enough right now. And to me, that's a mindset, and it's something we got to work on. Have we worked on it? Yeah, but not enough. There's a different way to emphasize it. I believe that. And we just get 1 or 2 of those, man, we can change the game here. And that to me is where the emphasis has got to go for us defensively. You know, we got the guys, we got the coaches, but we got to get better there. We got to find a way to get some takeaways.
This might be a little awkward just given that answer, but it seems like in the past, even today, when asked about the struggles of the defense, you almost always come back to the offense first. And I'm wondering if that's your background, do you have higher expectations for them? Why do you tend to, I guess, blame the offense first when you're critiquing a loss?
Yeah, maybe it is a little bit that I'm an offensive guy. But I also, I hold our offense to a certain standard because of that offensive line, first and foremost, because they've been here all together, and I know what they're capable of. Goff's played a lot of football, and that's the first thing I look at when I think of, man, we got to function at a higher level. We got to be more efficient, Doesn't mean that I'm giving the defense an out. That's the way I think defensively. Like, to me, line up and make them fight, make them earn everything, and find a way to get takeaways. That's the criteria, keep them out of the end zone. And so, it's where we're at.
And Dan, you said you guys can't be on cruise control. Do you think at 8-2, a team can get?
No, I'm not saying that. I shouldn't have said it that way. I don't think our guys are on cruise control. What I'm saying is, man, if you don't play, it doesn't matter who comes in here. When they play a perfect game, if we don't play our best when they're playing a perfect game, things like that'll happen. That's what I'm talking about, Don't assume anybody. We're the same team when it all last year we're 4-7. Everybody thinks you start doing things right, start getting takeaways, you don't turn it over, and all of a sudden you're a pretty formidable opponent. So, the odds of it, we go and turn the ball over 3 times against every opponent we have left, the odds of winning are going to be pretty slim. But I don't see us doing that.
Just Monday to the offensive line change. Why did you sit so?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
Why did you make that change on the offensive line right before half? What did you see there?
Yeah, I just felt like Yoda was going to give us just a better shot in that moment.
All right, thanks guys. Locker room building.
Yep.
Thank you.
Saint, great game. Is that the best catch you've ever made?
Actually, there was one better.
When? The Chicago game?
Minnesota?
No, getting Cure Auto Insurance.
Are you for real?
Seriously, when I got here in Michigan, car insurance was the worst. But saving up to 40% by switching to Cure was my best catch.
Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well.
Detroit Lions Live is brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Log on to cure.com to see how you can save. Welcome back to Ford Field here on Thanksgiving Day. Head coach Dan Campbell saying, everyone take a deep breath. This is still the same team, still the same Jared Goff that we've been seeing throughout the season. But it was them today. It didn't feel like this team at all today. Someone who consistently shows up, though, wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown. He averages just under 100 receiving yards a game. Just so close to that here today. 95 receiving yards. Wow. He just needed 102 yards to crack 1,000 on the season. Very impressive. Through week 12, he comes up 7 yards short, but like we were just told, good to not reach that milestone on a loss like this.
Yeah, you're right, because you couldn't celebrate it. It would be something that might go awry. The only problem I have with this, Danny, they didn't start getting to him. I think his first catch was 12-something in the second quarter. And I just think he's the guy that can calm Jared Goff down. He's the guy, when Jared's in trouble, Jared looks for this guy. So for them to go a whole quarter without targeting this young man, I just didn't think that was a good game plan for them. I'm glad to see he caught his 9 balls and got his yardage. But to me, we didn't utilize him early enough in the game to get Jared comfortable back there in the backfield.
A receiver that was utilized early in this game was tight end Sam Laporta, the rookie. Just 18 receiving yards last week against Chicago. He comes in first drive on offense for the Detroit Lions, 38 receiving yards. So you're seeing him grow each week. He has the potential to be the most productive tight end in Detroit Lions history and the most productive rookie in history. Amon-Ra St. Brown holds that title right now with 912 receiving yards. But taking a look at Laporta's stats, 47 on the day, so he wouldn't do much after that first drive, but he did tack on a touchdown that was so needed.
Yes.
How did you see Laporta show up once again here today?
Yeah, Danny, I look at him in two phases. I look at him in the passing game, but I also look at him as a blocker. He does a great job at blocking. He's getting better and better as a blocker. Of course, he runs great routes. After he catches the ball, he's a threat with the ball in his hand. So I just see this young man continuing to grow more and more. He has a veteran in Brock Wright to help him if he hits any bumps along the road. But I think Ben Johnson's been doing a great job of incorporating him in the offense, bringing him around, and now he's a weapon. To me, he's a weapon just like Amon-Ra St. Brown is. You have to look for Sam Laporta, too.
You had to look for wide receiver Cully Freeman here today. This staff has been saying they want to get him more involved, not just on special teams and being such an integral part of that unit, but getting involved on offense. He was incredibly efficient today. 5 targets, 90 yards, only second to St. Brown, who had 95 yards today. When Goff needed a big catch today, Raymond was there. How did he show up in such a big way?
He showed up in a big way, Danny, because he was running great routes. He does a nice job, just like the sun god, just like the sun god. They can find those soft spots in the zone, sit down and give Jared the target that he needs. They're sure-handed guys, and again, what I like is after they catch the ball, they could do something with it. And it's going to be important. We have to find another wide receiver outside of Amon-Ra because you have to be able to threaten these defense. If they know Amon-Ra is his main guy, they're just going to start loading up more and more on him. Sam Laporta is a nice changeup, but we got to have another receiver that can stretch the field, but can also get those possession catches that you need too.
In terms of this rushing attack for the Detroit Lions, one of the best tandems in the NFL showed up once again today, led by David Montgomery and the rookie Jahmyr Gibbs. Montgomery leading the way here today with 71 yards on the ground. Those were kind of quiet yards, but Montgomery also tacking on a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. What does this offense look like when Montgomery and Gibbs are doing their thing?
Unstoppable. Unstoppable, Danny. If we don't turn the ball over, we stop ourselves. These have been self-inflicted wounds with the turnovers. We had costly penalties. I mean, we had pre-snap penalties, and those are mental errors when you have pre-snap penalties. So those are things that I'm encouraged by, and the reason why I say that is those are things that can be cleaned up by the coaching staff, but they have to get cleaned up now because, again, as we get deeper and deeper into this season, all the teams we're facing, these teams are getting better and better. These teams execute because they know it's getting down to crunch time. So as a team that's looking to go far this year, we have to start tightening up some of those loose ends and making sure, Danny, that we execute each and every, not game, each and every series that they're out there on the field.
Montgomery's running back 2A, are we calling him? 2B? The rookie.
We can do that.
We can do that. Jahmyr Gibbs, he also tacked on some yards here today with 54 all in total. These two combined, like I mentioned, for 140 yards. We talk about the offensive line. What kind of lanes were they creating for Gibbs today?
They did. They created lanes today. I have to say, though, this was one of the more shakier games that our offensive line played. And there's reasons. I mean, we had guys getting hurt. We substituted guys in. And as you know, you have to have that chemistry on the offensive line. But they did a decent job today. Again, they gave David lanes that he could get through. They gave Jared Goff time back there in the pocket when he needed to have it. So the offensive line didn't play their best game, but I do think they played well enough for us to be competitive in this game, which we weren't today.
We can talk about the offensive line. There was a shakeup along there. You had the rookie Colby Sorsdahl starting at left guard, and you had Coyote Awasika, who now has racked up a lot of experience in the league, starting at right guard. By the time halftime came around, Sorsdahl, he found himself on the bench. Graham Glasgow had to check in. Why is that? Why did they need to shake things up?
Dan, it's hard. As a rookie in this game, it's hard, especially playing offensive line as a rookie. It's so many things that you have to learn. The learning curve is so steep as an offensive lineman in this league, and he's going to have growing pains. He's a good kid. He seems to grasp things fast, and he seems to learn his lessons fast. So whatever he did wrong out here today, I expect him to correct it, get better, and get back to playing well. But as a rookie, you're going to have games like this. So I kind of expect that from him. Good thing Coyote was there to step in and kind of help steady things.
I agree. So, Sorsdal, we were just talking about him making his first ever NFL start on Monday Night Football at right guard. I know this staff has really high hopes for him. Just needs to be more consistent.
Yeah.
One player we never have to really talk about consistency with, we're switching sides of the ball, linebacker Alex Anzalone. He is everywhere. He'll come up to the line of scrimmage. He'll go back in coverage.
Yes.
What did you see from, no doubt, the leader of this defense today?
Absolutely, Dan. I've seen what I've been seeing all year long from this guy. He plays with intensity. He plays from sideline to sideline. He plays downhill. He is the unquestioned leader of this defense, and he's the man that wears that green dot. He puts guys where they need to be at. He is our key guy. When I seen him get a little hurt down there on the field, man, my heart dropped because he is so integral to our defense and the success that we're going to have on the defensive side of the ball. So glad to see he was able to get back in the game. But that's our guy right there on the defensive side of the ball, hands down.
Anzalone, one of the most aggressive players on this defense. But I would challenge that aggression with rookie Brian Branch's aggression as well. He finished leader in tackles today with 8 total tackles. You see him grow a little bit more each day. Where would you have liked to see him grow a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, again, I just think it's little things with Brian. But think about this, Danny. They'll have him over the nickel guy in the slot.
Yep.
They'll have him up in the line as a linebacker. They'll have him deep back at the safety position. He has to learn so many positions on that defense. And think about, we're talking about a rookie. We're not talking about a veteran, and he's been doing quite well. So I love the way he supports the run. He came up and made some nice hits today. Again, it's just a matter of him just continuing to grow. Like I say, it's a learning curve in this league, regardless of what position you play. So hopefully he'll just continue to grow, Danny, and keep getting better and better. But I like that young man right there.
Another veteran leader of this defense is no doubt safety Tracy Walker. 6 total tackles on the day for him. And I know this defense had missed his communication when he was down with a torn Achilles. Well, he's back. He is settled in. Regardless of how many passing yards this Packers offense was able to put on the pass defense for Detroit, what did you see? What was the number one great thing you saw from Tracy today?
So I think this, Danny. Sometimes when you see another guy on the field with you, it gives you a sense of comfort. And I think that's what happens for that secondary when they see Tracy back there. Again, another smart guy that can line those guys up, a fierce hitter that's going to try to set the tempo on the defensive side of the ball. So Tracy he's a big time player for us in that secondary. He's getting better and better each game. Like you said, coming off that Achilles tear, that's big time to come back from. So, he's probably still working his way into football shape, but no doubt about it. Tracy Walker, I think, is the tone setter back there, and I think he gives those guys a sense of comfort when they see him back there in the backfield.
Detroit Lions defense gave up 268 yards through the air today. How do you balance getting pressure on a young quarterback like Jordan Love, who can be mobile, and then also being aware of the threats like Christian Watson and Jaden Reed down the field?
So, Danny, to me, you got the sense. If I'm playing a young quarterback, when he get off the bus outside this tunnel, I'm blitzing him then, Danny. I'm sending everybody at him all game long. Jordan Love would have had to prove to me that he can beat my blitz. So to me, you got to get rookie quarterback. You got to get any quarterback uncomfortable. And he got comfortable back there. And as the game went on, he got more and more confident. And that's what happened when you let a guy stay in the game, when you let a young guy stay in the game. So to me, and I know I'm not a DC, but to me, man, I would have tried to put so much more pressure on that young man by sending different blitz because he's still young. He hadn't seen all the different blitz, all the different defensive looks that you can do to him. So, we'll see. I'll just leave it at that, Danny.
You mentioned pressure. Well, quarterback Jared Goff was pressured a few times here today. 2 sacks alone in the first half. Not his best game. He will be the first one to tell you. 3 interceptions last week. This was supposed to be the game where, okay, you can throw away the tape from week 11, look to week 12. It's such a short week. 3 fumbles from Goff today. It's not a pretty stat line. He completes just under 66% of his passes, which is below his season average on the day. Still throws for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, but it really was giving up those turnovers here today.
It really was, Danny. And silly me, I was sitting back saying, wait, let's just get to 5 minutes left in the game, and Jared's going to make a comeback. I mean, but no. It was just a bad game from Jared. Like you said, he'll be the first to admit that. And he knows he just have to have ball security. All quarterbacks know that. Once you break the pocket, you got to secure that ball because you don't know who's coming from behind you to strip it. You just don't know what's happening behind you, so you have to secure the ball. Jared will be the first to say that. He knows that, and he knows by those turnovers, he knows they put the defense in a bad position to try to stop the Green Bay offense. So it's something that he can clean up all, and it's clean. I was going to say it's clean-upable. Is that a word?
It's cleanable.
Okay, cleanable.
I like
Thank
extra
you,
syllable.
Danny. Thank you, Danny. It's cleanable.
I think Goff will agree with you as well. He's standing by at the podium. Let's hear from QB1.
All right.
It's been a while since we've seen this team in a rut. Jared, what does it need to get out of it?
Yeah, I mean, we lost one game. I don't know if we're in quite a rut yet, but they played better than us today, and we didn't play very well all over.
So how much do you implement the turnovers here?
Yeah, you look at them individually. Like the one where I'm throwing the ball, it's hard, it's tough, it's such minuscule. Like it's called incomplete sometimes. Sometimes it's a fumble. The one where I'm scrambling, I got to take care of the ball better, no doubt. And just overall, can always do that better. And yeah, it's part of my job.
Is there any rhyme or reason to why these last 2 games are sort of fixed last week and the fumbles this week where they're stacked up?
No rhyme or reason. I tend to look at them individually and see, what I could have done better. And sometimes there is an answer, sometimes there isn't. And but overall, yeah, it's my job to take care of the football, and got to do a good job of that.
There's a lot of talking about the difference between being the hunter and hunting.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been in both positions before. Do you sense there's something different right now about where you guys are playing from the games that you give your opponents?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we've had some success up to this point. We were 8-3 and 8-2 before today, and yeah, teams are going to give us their best shot. We're leading our division. This is a division opponent. They came in ready to play and did a great job. I don't know if it changes how we approach the game. We're still hunting a whole lot. We're still hunting, first of all, our division and then whatever we can get after that. But yeah, it's a long road ahead, and we'd like to still be, on the offense of hunting what we're trying to get.
Your offensive line is the engine that makes this thing go. You hear it all the time. Everybody's entitled to a bad game, but you took 12 hits today. Does that screw with your timing at all when you're in the
No.
when you take that plan?
No, I'm behind what I believe is the best group in the league, and those guys rushed well today. They did. They rushed well and did a good job. I don't point at our O-line for the reason of that at all. I probably could have got rid of the ball a little bit quicker on some of those as well. But yeah, it's just some days those guys rushed pretty well, and they did.
How do you feel physically?
I'm good. I'm good.
We said last week we were talking about the interceptions and all that, and balls across and all that, and explaining it. So that's just the price of playing quarterback and then does this all kind of go into that? It's just a basic playing position.
Yes and no. I mean, there's certainly ones where I need to take care of the ball better, and it's my job certainly to do that. But yeah, at times the ball is going to go the wrong way. I don't know really if we had any of those today. I had scrambled, fumbled, and the other one I'm trying to throw it, my arm is hit, and the ball comes out, and it's unfortunate. And again, ultimately, it's my job to take care of the football and to make sure that I'm doing that.
When a game like this happens, sometimes players or fans say, "Oh, we could see that coming."
Did you have any sense that something like this would happen, that they'd come out and you guys the way they did, and that you guys would play the way you did? Did you ever have any sense of that?
No, zero. No. Thought we'd win the game before the game started, and then they played better than us. I don't think there's any reading the tea leaves of anything that's gone on other than us being 8-3 at this point, and long road ahead of us.
Won 2 of the last 3, but expectations are always, you guys should win those double digits right
Yeah.
on the outside, right? And so when it's not, when it's close games, people wonder what's going on. How do you sort of come out of the last 3 games feeling about the way the team's played against Cincinnati?
Yeah, I mean, we won 2 of them and lost the 3rd one. I don't put much stock into how many points we're winning by or how the game happened. We get that onside kick, we score a touchdown, and it's we won 3 in a row. Like, I don't know. It's all a million different things that go into winning and losing. And myself personally, I try to focus on what's next. Okay, we won or lost a game. What's next? Okay, move on. Good or bad. And I don't put any stock into how many points we're scoring or winning by or giving up or anything like that.
Or is there, I guess, nothing to being efficient, though? I mean, aren't you always looking to be efficient?
Certainly, yeah, sure. I guess, yes. The turnovers in the first half have certainly been the problem the last 2 games that have put us behind, and subsequently part of the reason we lost today. And yes, the efficiency and how well we'd like to play on offense can certainly go up, and the last 2 games is not to our standard. Absolutely.
You guys did come out of the half this time and put together a really efficient touchdown drive. That's been a year-long struggle for you guys. What was it about this game you think that you were able to come out of the locker room and do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we just came out ready to go. We knew we had to do some work. We were down a little bit and had to go make some plays. I wish you could put your finger on it, but yeah, it was a good drive to open the half.
You didn't hit on, Dan said my fault, I shouldn't call that. Just as a team, you guys hit on something else.
Yeah, we trust the hell out of him. He makes those calls. Most of the time he's right. When he's not, we got to pick him up and make the plays to help us win the game. But yeah, we trust the hell out of him, and love when he puts us in situations to make him right.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy.
Thank you, guys.
Saint, great game. Is that the best catch you've ever made?
Actually, there was one better.
When? The Chicago game?
Minnesota?
No, getting Cure Auto Insurance.
Are you for real?
Seriously, when I got here in Michigan, car insurance was the worst. But saving up to 40% by switching to Cure was my best catch.
Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well.
Detroit Lions Live is brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Log on to cure.com to see how you can save. Quarterback Jared Goff as composed, poised as ever. 6 turnovers in the last 2 games. He mentioned them coming earlier in games have killed them, but you look at the score. Defense for Detroit only allowed 6 points in that second half. There was a chance for this offense to come back, just too slow to do it. And all things considering, in that first half, just dug themselves in a hole again.
No, you're right, Danny. I mean, even with 5 minutes left in the game, they still had an opportunity. But again, you have to make key stops. We weren't able to make some of the key stops that we needed to make. And like I say, the offense, they just didn't look fluid today. They weren't clicking today for some reason. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a slow start that affected them the rest of the game. But it never seemed to just click for us. And like I said, some of those pre-snap penalties hurt us too, Danny. Illegal formations, just some of the things, just some of the things that went on. They were so uncharacteristic of what we had been doing, especially when we were winning games.
Uneasy was a word that Dan Campbell had used. I think
that.
we can agree with that.
Yes.
Well, Detroit is going to have to bury this tape, look to their next opponent, which is New Orleans Saints. Going on the road to NOLA. Detroit has played pretty well on the road to date. Detroit Lions fans, very good at showing up on the road. What is your first takeaway when you think about what these Detroit Lions need to do to get another win in NOLA and get back on track?
So, Danny, you remember when we played... It's them teams being more physical than us up front. Today, that happened to us today. So again, we just have to go back and make adjustments because we're facing another good defense in New Orleans. That's their bell cow is the defensive side of the ball for them. So we're going to have another challenge. Plus, if you think about it, we're going to have to use silent count inside the dome up there. That's another adjustment we're going to have to make on the offensive side of the ball. So guys are going to have to take this break, get this 3-day break, but lock in next week during practice to correct some of the things that went wrong today.
A familiar face on the other sidelines will be running back Jamal Williams.
That's right. Oh, our guy. Oh, my God, Danny. I'm going to give him a hug when I see him.
I know you will.
Know,
Not a lion, but still a very great human.
Miss the guy. Miss him.
All right. Final takeaways from this game, maybe ones you don't really ever want to talk about again, and the ones you need to see going forward.
Danny, again, I'll say it again, disappointed.
Okay.
That's the first word that comes to my mind. Just disappointed with how we showed up today. Again, packed house, the crowd was into it. I had my parade earlier today. I was into
Grand Marshal.
it. Then we have some turkey up there.
Yep.
And it was all set up for us. But we just couldn't get it done today. The guys fall. What uncharacteristic play today by our defense and our offense. Hopefully we could get those things corrected, Danny. But disappointed.
Yep. Detroit Lions with a chance to win their first Thanksgiving Day game here in Ford Field for the first time since 2016. Would have been Dan Campbell's first win as a head coach. Would have been players like Ali McNeil, Amon-Ra St. Brown's, their first wins as a Lion on Thanksgiving Day in Ford Field. You know.
Such a tradition.
Yeah.
You know, and Danny, we left the turkey leg up there too.
We sure did.
They had a turkey leg that was going to be given to our player of the game. It's still sitting in the refrigerator up in the booth.
Can we still go get it?
I know.
We'll
we
heat
can
up.
eat it. We'll eat it.
Why not?
But why let it go to waste?
I agree.
I know.
Man. Well, for Lomas Brown, I'm Dannie Rogers. We had a blast. This is one of the best days the entire year in the Motor City. It just did not fall on the side of the Detroit Lions. 29-22 is the final. Green Bay Packers snapping a 7-game win streak against division foes.
And can I say this to you?
Yes.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh my gosh, happy Thanksgiving,
You're
Lomas.
such the best.
You're my bestie.
My
I hope you
BFF.
enjoy it. You going home to eat some more turkey?
I'm going to hurt them. I'm going to hurt myself tonight too, Danny. Food coma.
Please don't hurt yourself. Oh my gosh. All right. We will not see you next week at Ford Field. We mentioned it. We will see you down south by the bayou, I think.
Oh, yeah. Some good eating
Orleans?
down there, Danny. Woo.
I mean, twist my arm.
All right.
All right. From us at Ford Field to all of you, happy Thanksgiving. We will see you next week.